Hi, this is Jim Montgomery. Today I want to tell you the story of Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner who owns San Antonio Manufacturing. But before we begin, in the last 5 years I have bought and sold actually over $100 million worth of businesses. I'm a former banker, business owner, business attorney, and I have probably seen every sticking point that businesses have and found a way to solve them. This is another one of our series in the Endpoint Performance seminars. And the story that I'm about to tell you is just an excerpt from one of those. But let's go back to Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner. They own San Antonio Manufacturing. Their business was good, but not expanding. They have a Yellow Pages ad with pictures, run newspaper advertising, and an occasional radio spot. Despite their efforts, which are not inexpensive, the sales have been flat or even a bit lower over the last 2 years. Now, the economy may have had something to do with that, but they tell me that their competitors are really not having that much problem with their sales. They also complained that their close ratio was good, but they just could not get more prospects into the funnel. So let's review and see where they are and how the process will work for them. Because I suspect that we'll find that we can not only increase their profits, we might even be able to double their profits. Too much of a claim? Well, let's take a look. There are 3 ways that you can grow a business. Well, actually, there are 5 levers, but we're going to talk about 3 of them today. First, you get more prospects. Your funnel, have more coming into the top of the funnel. Obviously, we'll have more at the bottom of the funnel. Now, your prospects come in the door. Do they stay? Can you increase your conversion rate? How many do you close? And then, how do you increase the value of your customer? Well, there are basically 2 ways. One, you get them to spend more. You increase the average transaction. Or 2, you get them to buy more often. You increase the number. So let's look at, here we go for San Antonio Manufacturing. Let's assume that right now they have 200 prospects. Their closing ratio is about 1 in 5, 20%. So out of 200 prospects, they have 40 customers. And a customer spends $1,000 with them. So gross sales will be $40,000. So what if we find a way to improve? Let's say we're going to grow 20%. Well, the first way to grow would, of course, be to increase the number of prospects, right? So we go to 240 prospects. Closing ratio the same. Number of customers, though, goes up to 48. And that gives us gross sales of 48,000. Well, what if we could improve our closing ratio? Nothing else changes. So 24%, almost 1 in 4 get closed. Again, another 8 customers increases our gross sales. But still only a little increase, 20%. Well, but what if we could increase the average sale? Well, at $1,200 from $1,000, we're going up 20%. But again, we only increase that 20%. So, what if we start combining? If we do 20% more prospects, 20% more in the closing ratio, that dramatically increases the number of customers to 57.6. sales of 69,120, and the actual growth is actually 72.8%. Well, okay, that's not doubling, that's not over 100%, but we haven't even talked about the other two levers that could be applied. We haven't even talked about those, but we're not going to do that today. Now, without spending a dime, another dime that is, because they're already spending quite a bit, right? Obviously, it's quite possible to double your sales. To find out how you can achieve these results, look for the email inviting you to register for our next webinar. If you look on the page where you found this video that you're viewing now, you'll see a place where you can put in your name and your email address, and we'll send you an invitation to register for the next webinar. We're here for endpoint performance for your business. We want you to grow your business.